currently on week 4 of my bulk. I'm doing the hourglass program, and that means that on week 4 my new phase is starting. So I have a new workout routine, and today is the first workout that I'm doing, and it is a heavy leg day. So I also had a heavy leg day in the previous phase, but I already had a little bit of a sneak peek, and today is an intensification phase of last cycle, which means that the heavier leg day is now heavier, which is really exciting because I haven't done a barbell Romanian in a minute. I've just been doing dumbbell Romanian deadlifts, so I'm actually very excited to see how far I can push it. I gained 2.5 pounds, or like 1 kg so far. And gaining weight is fun, but obviously I want to see if I, made some strength gains, if I built some muscle tissue, because that's my ultimate goal with this bulk. It's not just to gain weight for the sake of gaining weight. So for me today will be very exciting because I can actually see if I made some strength increases, because with this new phase, I can check when I do different exercises of if I'm able to do more than what I was previously able to do. The thing is, I haven't done the barbell RDLs in so long that I can't even remember what my previous weight was that I was doing it with. That's why you should keep track of your weights. So I don't think that I've ever gone heavier than my body weight, which would be around like between 55 and maybe 60 kgs. I don't think I've gone heavier than that with the barbell Romanians. So if I'm able to push it above 60 kgs, I'm pretty sure that would be a PB. And that's just really exciting when it comes to this bulking phase, because you make gains left and right. And it's just such an exciting phase for me to be in. And obviously, especially when you are a beginner, that is something that is probably more common, making strength increases and being able to push your reps and push your weight session to session. But when you are an advanced lifter, sometimes it can be a little bit more tricky, especially if you've been following a structured program for a while and you just have to find other ways to optimize things instead of just increasing the reps and increasing the load, because at one point there is a chance, if you're a natural lifter, that you will hit a plateau. So for me now to do this bulk and have so many extra nutrients available for me and have this much energy, it's just fun to see the strength increase and to see the numbers go up with my reps and my sets. And it's just a very exciting time to be in the gym. So today's leg session, I'm just making my pre-workout. I have this really fancy blender. Let's see. I'm really putting a lot of trust in this blender because obviously I'm in the car. This is something that you don't need, but it's just so fun to have. Super refreshing. We have 70 kgs on the bar. I'm lying. We have 70 kgs in total. Today's game plan, 4 to 6 reps, 70 kgs. If I can only do 4, that's fine. But then I need to do 4 for every single set, and I have to try to do at least 5 for some sets next week. Because ideally I want to end with like 6 reps for all the sets at the end of this phase. But we'll see how it goes. As I said, if I manage to do 70 kgs, it will be a personal best anyways, because I've never actually been able to do so. I am using lifting straps. So the reason why I'm using lifting straps is because my grip strength will not be able to hold this unless I do a mixed grip. Now, the thing with the mixed grip is I have a preference for a mixed grip this way. Most people have a preference, which is fine, but then you should still try to switch during your sets, because otherwise you might develop imbalances, especially in your back muscles. That's not what we want. But for me, the reason why I do this lift is to train my hamstrings, my posterior chain, my glutes. So I don't want to have my grip strength to be the limiting factor for whatever it is that I'm about to do, which is why I'm using the straps. I have these straps from Amazon. I have no idea what kind of straps they are. I'm not sure if they are the best ones. The reason why I like these straps is because it's very easy. I don't have to like wrap it around the bar like a million times. It just goes like this and I easily hold on to the barbell. Are they the best straps? No, because there is still quite some room, as you can see. So the like regular straps, they are probably a little bit more tight compared to these, but these are still fine because it's not like I cannot hold on to the bar, right? It's just that I know it will be my limiting factor and I want my posterior chain to be the limiting factor for why I give up on this exercise. But at least 4. I want to make sure that I keep a neutral spine, so I'm not rounding my spine. If I feel like I'm rounding my spine, I'll put it on hold immediately, but it should be, it's an easy protocol, right? We know what we need to do, we just need to execute. So RDL, pushing the hips back, that's my aim, keeping my shoulders retracted, pushing my hips back, slight bend at the knee to increase the stretch on my glutes. And then I lower until I feel like I can no longer push my hips back. Then I return and I don't fully lock out at the top. I like to keep the tension on my glutes, so I would usually stop around here and then I would revert the movement back again. That's the game plan. So 4 reps at least. Let's see. Great lifting straps. I feel like I was able to do 6, but then I would be very, very much close to technical failure. I still need to do 4 more sets. So there was some doubt creeping in my mind, and the moment I have some doubt, it's over. Whew. I'll proudly log the weight in the app, and then I think I have quite some rest, which I need to. So I'm just going to focus on the remaining sets, and then I'll see you for exercise number 2. So this shows why the order that you perform exercises is important, because to me, usually I'm able to do a heavier sumo squat on the Smith machine than I was able to do now, but because I already did the heavy sets of the RDL first, I can't do any heavier than this, just because I feel like I get fatigue in my spine. So I'm picking a weight that is appropriate for me for now, and I try to improve next sessions, right? Because then I know that I'm progressively overloading and that I make progress. It doesn't mean that when I compare individual exercises against each other, that every single exercise of every single workout needs to be heavier, because the order matters. Because if I do an exercise when I still have a lot of energy and I have no previously built up fatigue, I'm probably stronger compared to when I do an exercise last. So Order is important. Obviously, if you have to, you can rearrange things, especially when you're in the gym and it's busy or equipment is taken. But then still try to start with your A series, the first lift of the day, because that one is your A series for a reason. That's your main lift. And then try to pull all the compound lifts forward. So isolation exercises, it's fine. Machine work is probably fine too. You can do those later just because it mainly is your spine that tends to build up fatigue. You want to protect it. I thought I was supposed to be doing the hip thrust, but actually it was the squat first, which is why I'm doing it now. Talking about Smith machines, we haven't seen this one before. It just arrived a couple of days ago. We still are very much in the process of transforming this gym and building it. Don't have mirrors yet, for example. They were supposed to be delivered twice already, but it's been like me and mirrors. I think it's just not aligned to the stars, the universe. I've been having issues with mirrors since, I don't know, I don't even want to talk about it, but we'll get there. But I do have a Smith machine, which I said I'm so grateful for, because to me a Smith machine is such a vital tool. Not a vital tool. It's just a beneficial tool that I really, really like to implement in my training, whether it is for the sumo squats or any like military presses, seated presses. I really love doing exercises as good mornings on the Smith machine, just because it's a little bit more safe compared to having a free weight barbell with plates. And therefore, it really allows you to push yourself. So a sumo squat, I can't really do it anyways without the Smith machine. But if I were to do a regular squat now, I would feel more comfortable going a little bit heavier, just because I know that I can lock it at any given moment. Also, always make sure that you use the safety pins, because a Smith machine is a great tool, but it can also be very dangerous, because if you slip and you don't have safety pins, the weight will land on top of your spine and there's no way for it to, like, you can't let it roll off of you. Whereas with a regular squat, for example, you can like get yourself out of there or like push the weight back and then it rolls off. With this, it won't happen. So if you fall, it will land on top of you. That's not safe. So always use the safety pins and make sure to set it at the appropriate level, right? So ideally, with a squat, for example, I would put it that where I sit, it's like on the floor, it will be a little bit higher. So if I fall down, then it would catch the bar for me. I tried to go a little bit heavier with my initial sets. I tried 2 reps and I felt that I was lacking depth. So I lowered the weight and then I moved on with my set. So that's always the key, form over weights. You can always add weight later. You can't tweak your form after. I don't even know what I'm saying. Anyways, next up is the hip thrust. We're doing 1 1/4 rep. We're doing the 1 1/4 rep hip thrust. So this is a variation that allows you to spend a little bit more time where the exercise is actually the hardest, which is at the top of the movement. That's what we're doing. Therefore, I'm lowering the weight slightly to make sure that I'm actually able to, fully extend at the top, go full range of motion, and spend more time there. I am doing touch and go, meaning that I'll do a 1 1/4 rep, and then I'll probably put it down for just a second, like touch it, and then go up again. You could also do continuous tension, or you could actually do a dead stop, where you would basically reset after every single rep. I'm not really sure if I can do touch and go though, because I don't have bumper plates. So these are a little bit smaller and I'm not sure actually if I can do touch and go, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just do the continuous one, which is even more challenging because then you would have the continuous tension on the glutes, topped with the 1 1/4 rep. Glute pump out of this world. After this, we're done with the hardest part of the workout. So there's just like the final stretch, and then I can sit down, do some leg curls, and stand up and do some kickbacks. So that should all be fine. Okay, so we're doing continuous reps. Leg curl is great for isolating the hamstrings. The thing with the seated leg curl though is you have to treat it with respect. Even though it's a machine, it's an isolation exercise. Don't just sit there and not have any tension in the rest of your body and just kind of swing the weights back and forth. I mean, you do you, obviously, but if we're talking about training optimization, treat it with respect. Grab the bars, create that tension in your upper body, make sure that your lower back is pressed against the pad, neutral spine, and then when you curl the weight, hold it here for just a second, maybe even 2, and then control the weight down and don't rest here. We're not putting the weight back. We're not even touching the stack. We keep it floating above and then we return because we want to keep that tension on the hamstrings. Hold it for a second and then control the weight. So you want to make sure that you make it yourself difficult, okay? Because even though it's an isolation exercise, we still treat it with respect. My glute session. Now it is time to eat, make sure that I get some protein in my system, get some carbs going and also some healthy fats. And then I am done for today and then we'll do it again next week. Because as you know, I have the same sessions on a weekly basis in order to use those numbers and then use them as benchmarks and make sure that I progress over time. It's like lifting is very simple, but it does require consistency and input, and that is really the hard part because it's always fun to train when it's easy and when you have time. It is more challenging to stay consistent long term. But as I said, I think in my previous video or maybe the video before that, it's not about the 1 hour of exercising that you do, it's about the effect that that 1 hour has on the remainder of your day and the effect it has on your health long term and your sleep quality and your mental peace. I really noticed that when I train consistently, I am so much more able to handle the things that get thrown towards me every single day, like because of life. And when I don't train, I do think that I kind of trade that in for short-term time gain, because obviously it takes time out of my day. And then if I don't use that time to train, I have more time to do other things, but then I do pay the price long term or like in a week or in 2 weeks where I just feel more on edge. I don't feel good in my body. I have less energy. So it's an investment worth making. And you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to train with weights. It is the type of exercise that just suits your life and your style best. But I do think it's good to spend time in your body also to kind of ground yourself and not just only live in your head, if that makes sense. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to go and eat something and then I'll hopefully see you in the next one, which is probably an upper body session, and I'm excited for it because I really want to challenge myself and see if I can finally work my way up to the 10 chin-ups, but we'll see. We'll see next time. Bye guys.